Hey everybody, welcome back to the whole journey. Um, Hope you guys are having an amazing day and you're taking care of yourself, doing self-care, um, spending time pouring back into yourself so that you can pour into others. Spending that time just on self-reflection, getting outside, getting some sunlight, and just overall recharging yourself. That is so incredibly important in this season that we're in. Unplugging from, the negativity that's going on. It's just so many things to be distracted by. So just making sure I check in with you all to encourage you to continue to do those things, because when we're just caught up in the hustle and bustle of the day, we sometimes neglect ourselves. So we're pouring into others, but not pouring into ourselves. So you can't pour from an empty jar or glass or vase. So that's my little soapbox. But today we're talking about releasing things that no longer serve us. It's hard, but it's necessary. So what do I mean about that? When we think about things that no longer serve us, it could be work, it could be relationships, it could be, hobbies that you thought that you liked and found out that it's not really, serving you anymore. It could be a myriad of things. And so today I want to go through a few steps to help you navigate through that process. The first thing is you have to identify what's holding you back. So for me, use myself. I'm going to be totally transparent. For the longest, I felt as though I needed to have this relationship with my family. And when I say family, I'm not talking about like my brothers and sister or my child or anything like that. I'm talking about extended family. And I found that I was committed to the idea more so than them. And I came to that stark realization probably it's been coming for some years, but I think I really got hit over the head with the shillelagh probably about 2021 when my mom passed away. And my extended family was like non-existent. They did not show up to honor my mother. And I'm still going through the process of forgiveness, because death and grieving brings out a whole different an emotion side of you that you don't normally feel in normal everyday life. So imagine losing your mom, the woman that gave you life, the woman that gave so much to our family, and then to not have, just at her final moment of being honored, that they were no show. Now keep in mind, I have been supportive of them, but when I needed them the most, they weren't there. So I use that as an example. So I identified what the issue was. I felt like I needed that. And I'm finding that no longer serves me. I no longer have a desire to be connected to them in any form. Like, I'm good. And I don't wish them well. I pray for my family. I pray for their healing. I pray for, you know, their salvation. I pray for them. I don't have any ill will or anger in my heart towards them, any resentment or anything like that. I have just decided that for me and for whatever time that I have left, that's not going to be the best way for me to go. And again, you pour into other people. You show up when they are in need. You show out. You know, you support. You give, and you get nothing in return. And after a while, it just depletes you. And then, if you allow it, it can even impact, you know, your self-esteem. It's like, okay, is it something with me? Maybe I need to change. Maybe I'm not giving enough. No, it's not that you haven't given enough. You've given enough. You have to let people be who they are. And in this case, they showed who they were and who they are. And it's time for me to make a decision that's in the best interest of me moving forward. And so it was an emotional attachment for me because it's family. And so it was initially hard because I was like kind of going back and forth with that. But I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm okay. This isn't good. So identifying what's holding you back, recognizing those emotional attachments, which for me, that was it. You know, feeling that, you know, family is everything. You know, you're supposed to be there for your family. And I'm not trying to tell anyone else to do this or separate or disconnect from your family. I'm just using myself as an example to drive this point home, that for me, that was something that was an attachment that I needed to let go and not feel guilty about it. The steps that I took to ultimately get to where I am required, one, to identify it, two, what were the telltale signs? What were they doing that was causing me emotional harm? You know, and there were little things along the way when I would have like mild or like successes, you know, maybe a promotion on my job, or you know, get some kind of award, or you know, having my son, moving out the state that I was in, where my family was, and moving, you know, to the West Coast. Just little things that I started seeing. And you know, when you come around, you know, it's like, you know, that fake stuff. You guys know what I'm talking about. The fakery, you can feel it. You can cut it with a knife. They're smiling, but then they would say little covert, you know, how can I say, little covert, nice, nasty responses, all of that. And it was too much. And so I said, for me, this is enough. It's like, you know, you get to a certain age where you have to prioritize yourself and your mental health and your well-being. And even now, people may say, that's a little drastic to cut off your family. You know, you may think that it's drastic, but not when you're fighting for your sanity and your overall health. So for me, it wasn't. It was a process. I didn't take it lightly. I continued to see things that, just were glaring, like flashes, red flags, red flags, red flags. And it's like, how long are you gonna do it? So on the other side, I'll talk about that. On the other side, I am at a place of complete peace. I have never felt this peaceful in my life. Is everything perfect in my life? No. Is everything going the way that I want? No. But internally, I am at peace. I am happy. I have joy. And it's not because of, what's going on around me. It's an internal thing, and you have to do that work to get to that place. And so I would encourage you all to take inventory of your life. Look at, what's no longer serving you. Maybe it's your job. You've been on a job. I've had that happen too. I can go down that rabbit hole, but for the sake of time, I won't do that today. But I've had jobs where I would work my behind off, working late, working every weekend, missing church, which was a no-no. I should have never allowed it, but I did, because in my mind, I was thinking, if I work hard and they see what I'm doing, that they'll promote me and give me my due reward. And I thought that, and I was just grinding myself into the ground. And ultimately, they never did see it. Ultimately, I lost my job, even after all of that work. And I should have left. Let me say this. Let me take that back. Everything happens the way that it's supposed to. I feel that there was a purpose for me being there in that season, because it set me up for the thing that happened after that. And that was starting my own company. If I had not gone through that, I would have just continued to be a worker bee. I would have continued to work and got whatever 401k they were offering, whatever they had to offer after retirement. I would have still been working there. But God said, no, that's not what I would have for you. That's not what the plan is. And so I had to go through that, and it set me up to be prepared for running my now company. So in my strength, I would have ended that a long time ago, because it wasn't serving me. But I couldn't leave at that time, because it wasn't the time to leave. So you have to do your own self inventory and determine, what's not serving you. When is the appropriate time to walk away? What does walking away look like? How can you release whatever that situation is without feeling guilty and going down that downward spiral of, feeling, condemnation and guilt and shame, and like, I'm a bad, relative, or a bad employee, or a bad friend, because it could even apply to a friendship. You might be giving, and they're just taking, and not giving anything in return. And it's almost like a abusive relationship. You're pouring into someone, and they just take. So when do you say enough's enough? When do you say, okay, this isn't good. This isn't serving me. So each person's journey is different. Each person's situation is different. And so I just would like for you guys to take some time to reflect on that, and really take inventory of what is serving you and what's not. And in 2026, letting that go. We're all about wholeness here. Mind, body, spirit, all about wholeness. And if you're not feeling or getting reciprocal feedback from any relationship or anything that you're engaging in, it's time to cut the cord. I mean, how many more years do you want to do that and waste? Life is just a vapor. Tomorrow's not promised to us, and we need to make the most out of every single day that we have. And so you don't want to look back over your life and like, oh wow, I wasted 20 years on something that didn't serve me, or I wasted 10 years on something that didn't serve me. So we're not doing that over here. This, like I said, this is wholeness, mind, body, spirit. We're all about self-care and taking care of ourselves, and that's part of it. So I would challenge you to put in the comments below, you know, what are you releasing in this season? You know, what are you gonna let go? And being able to do that with the support of our community here, it's safe here to be able to share what we're letting go and going through this journey together. I kind of put myself out there to talk about currently what I had to release, and I feel 100% better. I wish I had done it years ago, but in some ways I feel like I'm a little naive. You know, I still try to see the good in people. If you guys don't know, my background is mental health, so I have been in the counseling, mental health industry for over 25 years. And so I always try to find the deeper meaning. I always try to find the good in people and draw that out of them. Just always hopeful that, you know, the good will outweigh the bad. I'm kind of a long sufferer, you know, just, you know, I'm gonna stick it out, I'm gonna hang in there, you know, things can change. And at the point of where I am now, I don't have that bandwidth any longer. And if I can share something to help you guys where you don't have to go through all the steps that I've gone through, if I can save you some time, then my job is done. So yeah, that's all I have today. Wishing you guys a wonderful day. Again, I encourage you to sit down and reflect and take care of yourselves. And I will see you guys on the next video. Don't forget to comment below and subscribe to the channel. The Whole Journey. We're doing this together.